Hey everyone, this is my run on Act 3 Chapter 5.2 in DFFOO global version of the game, featuring the debut of Fran's LD weapon. And this is going to be a no boss turn run completed within 2 turns, featuring the combination of Shadow, Terra as turn hoggers, and then Kain as off-turn damage, as well as a Cloud of Darkness support also for off-turn damage. The gist of the strategy is having Kain and Cloud of Darkness active in the field, and then hogging all the turns with Terra, where she can do her LD and Meltdown spam, and this will also trigger the off-turn damage from both Kain and Cloud of Darkness. Just quickly about the setup, you have some flexibility here in the sense that if you don't have Kain, you can also pick a Kain support and then just main party Cloud of Darkness as the third party member. I've tested it and that also works. So what I did at the start of the battle is to reset until Kain goes first, and then I have him set up the Kurosame, call debuffs and leap into the air. On Shadow's turn, I have him use a Fran LD and base call to inflict the range imperil. Range imperil is needed, and there's only 2 ways to get range imperil, which is either from Fran's call or from Irvine's base call. Without it, you will not be able to uptick the orb. So once I've set up the Fran LD call with Shadow, I actually immediately swap him out for Cloud of Darkness. The idea is that I'm actually saving Shadow for the last part of the fight. So for the first part where I'm going to use Terra, I swap him out first and have Cloud of Darkness in the field with her BT aura up. So this way Terra will trigger 2 off-turn attacks after every action that she takes. On Terra's turn, I complete the LD calls by using Jack LD and base call to inflict another defense down. This is very much needed because this party doesn't have any support characters, so you'll be struggling dealing damage without any potent defense down. If you don't have Jack, you can use other defense down calls such as Faris or Shantoto. Just bring your biggest defense down available and that should pull you through. Alright, so once setup is complete, I have Kain and Cloud of Darkness out, and both of them are dealing their off-turn attacks. So this is where I pop burst mode with Terra. To keep the turn count low, I save her LD Chaos Wave as her final attack inside her burst mode. This allows you to complete her burst mode without increasing the turn count, and will also give you a few free turns after she comes out of BT phase. Now at this point, Cloud of Darkness is at 0 friend count, but that's actually okay because she'll actually never get another turn after this all the way until I pop my summon, because at this point the boss's defenses are quite high and Cloud of Darkness will actually not be able to break the bosses during any of her follow-up attacks, so therefore she will actually never get another turn until Terra runs out of LD and Meltdown. So during this phase of the fight, all I'm doing is spamming LD into Meltdown with Terra. Meltdown is slightly preferred over Meteor because, for one thing, Meteor's damage, Brave damage is significantly cut because I do not have any strong support auras in play, and Meltdown dealing 80% splash is actually quite strong, especially because I have HP damage up effects in play. So essentially it deals a higher total HP damage as opposed to using Meteor dealing HP damage on one target. What I'm doing is using Terra's LD during her final free turn, and this is only done so that I do not actually increase the turn count. If you aren't too fast about the turn count, what you want to do is actually just finish off all her free turns and then use LD after that. It will increase the turn count by 1 each time, but at least you will be able to squeeze in 1 extra Meltdown before she uses LD again, and this gives you a lot of leeway later on in the fight. Okay, so at this point I'm out of Terra's LD, so what I'm doing here is use her final additional ability to trigger one more round of Lancet, and then I pop my summon here to prevent the turn count from going any higher. I end the turn using Terra's EX, and then on Cloud of Darkness turn she jumps out, but this is actually quite good because Shadow coming in will allow you to squeeze in a few rounds of wall throw with Shadow, which does a lot of damage, and because you're inside summon, it doesn't increase the turn count as well. The goal here is to finish summon mode with Shadow acting first after summon mode. Now that I'm out of summon mode, to prevent the turn count from going higher, I'm going into Shadow's rotation, which is spamming LD and 2 wall throws in his turn. Both Shadow's LD and his subsequent wall throws doesn't actually increase the turn count as long as you remain inside his free turns. Don't forget to also use Shadow's additional ability. Although it doesn't trigger any attack from Shadow, at least using his additional ability will trigger one round of Lancet from Kain for some free damage as well. So this is actually coming to be quite close. I am trying to kill off the bosses before I run out of Shadows, LD and free turns. And I came pretty close. I ran out of the final free turn at the final boss having 1% HP. So in theory I think it is possible to do this in a one turn. But anyway, I've tried it a few times and it is extremely tight. You need optimized damage. So I'll just take the 2 turn win right here. I hope the video has been enjoyable, and if you like the content, do leave a like, comment or subscribe, it really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Lufenia fight. Bye!